Why Beelzebub? I am often asked, why did Gurdjieff use the demon Beelzebub as his main character in his book Beelzebub's Tales to his grandfather? Gurdjieff does explain this himself in the first chapter of the book, so I instruct most folks to go there, and I put it online on my YouTube channel, which is just called Beelzebub. But being a student of theology, here is the name as used in the Bible, the Old Testament, where Beelzebub appears 4 times. Beelzebub, the name, means Lords of the Flies, apparently, but we'll go into that. The beginning word, Bel, or B-E-E-L, is actually B-A-A-L, Baal, meaning Lord or owner. It is in the Ugaritic, Phoenician and Canaanite religion that Baal becomes the name of an actual deity, a weather god in fact. Over time, the word Baal, B-A-A-L, became corrupted into Bel, B-E-L, but it still meant lord or owner. In Syria there was a port called Ugarit, and Baal was god of this area, the lord of the land. Baal was the son of Dagon, one of the higher gods of the Ugarit pantheon. Dagon was god of the grain, and thus Baal, his son, became also a god for farming and fertility. The worship of Baal spread across the Syro-Palestine land, and the kings of the land would pray to Baal for prosperous conditions throughout their realm. Baal was regarded as a seasonal deity, who disappeared to the underworld during the autumn and winter times to return in the spring, bringing the fertility back to the land. In the second book of Kings in the Old Testament, there is a king Ahaziah, who has to consult the oracle of the god Beelzebub of the Canaanite city Ekron. Now, Ahaziah fell through the lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria, and he became ill, and he sent messengers and said to them, "Go inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I will recover from this illness." But an angel of the Lord spoke to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, "Arise, go up towards the king of Samaria's messengers, and speak to them, saying, Is it because there is no God in Israel that you go to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? Therefore so has the Lord said, From the bed upon which you have ascended you will not descend, for you shall die." And Elijah went. So this was in 2 Kings, in the first few chapters. Zebub, Z-E-B-U-B, is the word for flies, as in insects, the flies. Now this deity, Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, was said to be one that dealt with diseases. He could both spread disease and he could heal disease. Why the name of the Lord of the Flies is unclear. Flies are known to help spread disease too, but I haven't heard many tales of flies healing diseases. Lord of the Flies could be a mistranslation. In Hebrew, the word Zabal, Z-A-B-A-L, can also mean the high house, so Beelzebub might actually mean Lord of the high house. It is in the Testament of Solomon, which is not a canonical script but was written in ancient times, that Beelzebub appears as a prince of hell. In this book, Beelzebub tells Solomon, the king, who is able to control demons with his magic ring, that he was formerly a leading heavenly angel who was associated with the star Hesperius, the evening star, also known as the planet Venus. Beelzebub claims to cause destruction through tyrants and to cause demons to be worshipped among the men, to excite priests to lust, to cause jealousies in cities, and to create murders and bring on war. It was in 1589 that a German bishop called Peter Binsfeld created a list that associated Beelzebub with being a demon and one of the princes of the demon world. Because of this list, Beelzebub became known as one of the underworld's 7 deadly demons who were each held responsible for tempting humans with a deadly sin. Lucifer, pride; Mammon, greed; Asmodeus, lust; Leviathan, envy; Beelzebub, gluttony; Satan, wrath; Belphegor, sloth. But Beelzebub is sometimes also used as another name for the devil, which is the one most people know. Beelzebub the devil, the dark one, perhaps the misunderstood one, and maybe that is why Mr Gurdjieff decided to give his protagonist this very appellation.